It's different. So violence is very different than fighting. So I like to think that I would never have a fair speech. Because you have to win, right? Because it's life or death. So I don't want to answer the question because that's when you just pull the strap, right? It's life or death.
What about Jake Paul, Anderson Silva? That's a big one coming up. I think it's in actually 2 weeks. Do you watch much of the boxing? Are you interested in it? Are you going to tune in?
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of interesting because since I blew up, obviously there's going to be a parallel drawn between my brother and I, Andrew Tate, Tate brothers, Logan, and the Paul brothers. I actually quite like Jake, and I think he trains really hard.
Yeah.
And I think he's dedicated to the sport, and he's seriously actually a boxer. I don't think he's a YouTuber.
I've been saying this as well to everybody, and people don't realize it because people don't fully see things, right? Jake Paul is a bad boy. Everyone's like, oh, YouTuber, whatever. The guy's dedicated his life to the sport of boxing, dude, and he's knocking UFC champions out. So, my take on it, if Jake Paul were to really fight Conor McGregor, Jake Paul sparks Conor McGregor, for real. And I'll give you the facts. Jake is taller than Conor McGregor. Conor's walking around maybe 170, 175. Jake Paul's walking around 205. Lean, ready to fight, 205. Conor fights at 155. So, there's a natural 50-pound fighting weight difference. Jake can walk around. I remember one interview, he was I walk around 215. Cut down to 190 to box Tyron Woodley. So, he cut a bunch of weight too just to get down to 190. Conor cuts down to 155. So, it's a different... Jake's naturally a bigger guy. He's got more power in his right hand because he's a bigger guy. There's more weight behind it. So Jake's power shots, he'll hit harder than Conor will. And so if Jake catches Conor with a right hand, Conor got knocked out by a 155 Poirier. You know what I mean? Imagine a 205 Jake Paul. It's different. It's a different power. So. Jake wins. Jake beats Conor. This is just my opinion as a casual fan, but Jake's a bigger guy. Jake's younger. He's been actually putting in the work. Conor vacations on his boat, eats carbonara and lobster tail covered in butter every night. It's real stuff. So Jake's eating lean chicken and broccoli every day as a 25-year-old up-and-coming boxer. McGregor's on a yacht doing coke and eating buttered lobster and pasta. Conor's not winning that.
Ben's still a YouTuber, so they're in different parallels. I wish Jake the absolute best for his career. I think he's far better than Logan. If I were to fight either of them, Jake would be much harder to beat. Logan would be easy to beat. Jake you'd have to train for.
Jake.
So Louis just a YouTuber, isn't it? He's a young man with a lot of money. He's been training boxing for a long time. The guy can box, right? So I think it's going to be hard, and obviously Silva's a legend, but age is real, and genetics are real, and the time is the fire in which we all
who knows? That'd be interesting.
We're going to see what happens. It's going to be hard to watch Silva get hurt. It's going to hurt.
That would be hard. That would be hard to see Silva go down like Tyrone or something.
Because it's been how many months since Jake's last fight?
That's where it gets interesting because I've already seen all that part. So I want
So it seems like his last.
Give you a candid reaction to the rest of this interview that I haven't seen and just give you my thoughts.
And so it's even going to be hard to go off his last fight on how good he is.
Yeah, you can improve a lot, especially when you're not super good fast, or you can improve a lot in that time frame.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. It's kind of one thing I will give the Pauls respect for is I kind of like they brought back this dueling aspect because all this YouTube beef before this was so annoying to even watch. Take down video. Now it's you don't like me fighting. And I do like they brought that back because that's the world I grew up in, right? And the internet's taken all that away, and it's good to have that back because in the real world you can't just run your mouth.
Yo, you have beef with me on YouTube? All right, let's get in the ring then. Insane.
Because it gets violent. So I like that that's come back.
Yeah, it is more interesting than watching them play fucking soccer or something.
Completely. That's how. Completely. That's how it should be. And like I said, I think me versus Logan would be the best fight. But
one of the things I would love to do though, as well as start up a basketball one-on-one because I know one-on-one's my thing. No team, just me and the ball versus you and the ball. I don't know. I don't know. One-on-one's my thing. I don't know. But 5-on-5 as well. Give me another guy that can rebound and hit open shots. I'm good to go there as well.
So we can lay off the cocaine and the steroids and make sure we're something out, but I don't know if he's prepared to do that for long.
Dude, there's something about it with the fucking. There's something people hate on the internet. Like they see someone confident and they fucking hate
Yeah, this
it.
part's real.
Yeah.
Yo, pay attention to this part because this part I've known for a really long time. I figured this out.
It's interesting
a while
because
ago.
the saying is that hate never comes from above, and it's absolutely
Ooh,
true.
that's good.
It's absolutely true. With me, it's so easy as well because when they do a video like on YouTube, they say the truth about Andrew Tate, I can look at the thumbnail, and by one glance of the man or woman, I can tell if it's pro or anti. You can just tell. A guy who has his life together is cool every single time. A beautiful woman on my side every single time.
Yeah.
Every dude who's like bitter and upset and sad and overweight or some ugly chick or hating him. So hate never comes from above, and if you're truly unhappy with yourself and you're truly not confident, then you're going to hate the people who are. You're jealous. Jealousy is a huge driving factor.
I say it, I'm a douchebag. Andrew Tate says it, people think he's a douchebag. Is it true though? Is he a douche or is he just speaking facts? I think he's speaking facts. It's just my opinion.
I believe that humans are quite apathetic. We don't really give a shit. And to see someone else and be so viscerally enraged.
I see most people, I'm like, I'm chilling. I have no problems with anybody, you know? I see Andrew Tate, I'm like, top G, what's good? Like, you're the top G, I admit it.
Be so angry at them. There has to be a driving force, which is something like jealousy. Otherwise, you're just like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Why would they care what I say? I don't talk to these people. Why would they care what I say? So.
That Penis Morgan interview you did with
I saw
was
that.
fucking. That was so hard to listen to because every time you'd ask you something, you'd go to answer and you go, you start having a fucking stroke.
He made himself look bad.
He did.
I wasn't completely happy with how I navigated, but when I watched it back, I saw like 99.9% of all comments were on my side, and it was a difficult one because I'm now currently in a situation where I'm trying to tell the truth like I always did, but also I don't want to give the Matrix any more ammo against me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the way they attacked me...
They canceled this man. They canceled this man. They tried to freeze all his bank accounts. Thankfully, he was prepared for it. He understands money and that he's like, if they cut off my clout and my money, I'm screwed. Set it up in a way where even if they cancel him, he's still on private jets. He's still driving a Bugatti. They tried to ruin his life, but he's top G, so he's still thriving and surviving, which is good. And it's scary, you know, in a world that we live in where there's so much power at the top that just a handful of individuals literally can control the outcome of the way things go in this world. Handful of people do that, you know? You like to pretend the power's in the masses, but it's not. It's an elite collective group of individuals that handle, you know, the big important decisions that are happening. So
unprecedented. They got Trump, Alex Jones, and me. I'm like the third most attacked man by the system.
I hate Trump.
And you have to be very, very careful what you say after that, especially understanding that
Trump's a G, dude. Trump's a G. I mean, hate the guy, love the guy. You got to admit Trump is a G.
the sound bites can be taken out of context.
You just have to.
But yeah, and I knew Piers was a setup, and I knew Piers was out to get me, but I was trying to semi-carefully navigate it. Obviously, I could have just sat there until we get fucked.
Yeah.
But
I think that's what he wanted. He was trying to get you fired up.
he was trying, and that's why I was just trying to stay as calm as possible.
I was saying before any debate, any conversation, what if you had a physical altercation before you guys went into that debate, and then it's like, okay, now you know where you're at.
Yeah.
In a fight, just cause.
It's the bottom line of life. That's the thing that a lot of people forget. Like, we talk about this all the time, and that's why I dedicated so much of my life to fighting, and that's why I like it so much and respect it so much. In fact, that's why all humans intrinsically respect it. When you go to the UFC, you have basketball players, baseball players, every other sport respects fighting, because it's the true bottom line. The bottom line is always going to be violence at the end of the day. If I argue 2 + 2 is 5, and someone else argues 2 + 2 is 4, and I smash his face, it's 5 for the day. It's 5. Between me and him, it's 5 now. It has to be. You can't say it's 4 anymore. It ain't gonna
I
matter.
think 2 + 2 is 5. You want to settle this? No? Okay, then it's 5. We agree? Yeah? Alright, we good. Alright.
And that's just the bottom line of life. And obviously, we want to live peacefully, and we go through life, and we try and be mature adults, and we live in a civilized society.
But it's kind of,
still
I mean,
violent.
Tate's got a point, right? Like, violence, human history has been filled with violence for a reason. Like, study history, it's violent. History is violent.
That's underpinning everything. And I think a lot of my worldviews and a lot of the things I say have a semi-violent connotation. I don't mean them to be like scary in any way, but I've been told this by people. They said, Tate, the reason they banned you is not just because of what you say, it's because you're scary. Thanks, bud. Thank you very much. Caffeine.
That's true.
Oh, my favorite drug ever.
Bro, miracle drug. They're like, you're scary. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm scared? They're like, oh, you're an ex-professional fighter, you're living in Romania, and you got all these pit bulls and these machine guns, and it's like people are intimidated by you. And I say, well, violence is the underpinning of society. Violence always has been the bottom line for everything. I talk about this all the time. I talk about if you get a parking ticket, the only reason you pay it is because of the threat of violence. You may not think there's a threat of violence, but if you don't pay that ticket, they'll add more money, and then they'll tell you to go to court. And if you don't go to court, then they'll send a bailiff. If you don't reply to him, etc. Sooner or later, police are going to turn up, and they're going to say, "Come with me." And if you say no, what happens? Violence. Mm-hmm. There's a threat of violence behind every single red light. There's a threat of violence behind a parking ticket. There's a threat of violence behind every piece of paperwork you've ever signed for the government, behind your driver's license. It all comes back down to a threat of violence. Mm-hmm. So when you talk to pacifists,
that's insane, is it not? Oh my gosh, is that not insane? How is that not mind-blowing? Everything we do is I know for me, I follow the law because I'm terrified of the government. I'm terrified. I'm like, of course I'm going to follow the law. They're going to ruin my life at any second. I got to pay my taxes. I got to do what they tell me to do. Like, if the government tells you to do something, you just comply because you know, like, they will literally ruin your life. They have the power to literally put you in jail. They will put you in jail, no remorse, even if you're completely innocent. They'll still throw you in jail, you know? And if they really want to, they'll do that, you know? It doesn't matter. They'll find a way to get it done because they're the government. So you can't win, and I mean, Tate is winning, but he's also doing it very methodically, you know? This guy, they could find a way to throw this man into prison, so he's got to be smart as well. And clearly he's a smart man. You know, he's like, well, I don't want to do anything to piss him off that much, or they're either going to kill me or throw me in jail, so let me just comply a little bit. At the very least, Tate is also a complying citizen. As much as it seems like he's not, believe me, he is. He's not trying to, like, I don't know, piss the elites off, you know? He's still got to be friendly and charismatic.
A liar. Because you believe in civilized society, and civilized society is pinned on one thing: violence. You fuck up too bad, violence comes. That's just the way the world works. Even if you go to a forest and you see a big beautiful tree, there's he crushed all the other trees around it. That's a violent guy. The big tree is a violent tree. He destroyed all the other little trees. So you have to.
The big trees that survive suck up all the water, suck up all the nutrition in the ground, so they get to be big, and then all the other trees die off because they couldn't beat off the big tree to get the water and the nutrients in the soil. The big tree's like, all this nutrient in the soil, it's mine. Takes it all the other little trees die. Then you got the big boy, 1,000-year-old legendary tree that's been in that forest for millennia because it's the top G tree.
The world though, so it's good to be good at it.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
it's crazy how much just like almost being a top G rubs people the wrong way. Well, guys that aren't a top G, they don't understand. They don't understand owning a business and be able to providing and traveling around and having the opportunity to have multiple pussy. Yeah. And they hear these outlooks. I mean, we talk about it too a lot.
You gotta be a top G, dude. I need to be a top G, and I think, right, tying it back to the Swagger Day Saint thing, the theme of me navigating this world and trying to figure out righteously living the gospel while also being a top G, right? I think God has to respect top Gs, right? You can follow the commandments, you can live a prosperous life and still have God love you as his child that's doing big things in the world and still helping. I think Andrew Tate is a blessed individual, clearly a man who's protected by God, right? Because if he was a really truly negative force, I mean, who knows, right? Maybe he is, maybe I only know what I've seen, and I think Andrew Tate is a positive force for good. That's why I'm on here sharing this. It's just my opinion that he has things that we as young men need to learn and develop if we want to be G's ourselves.
It's like, something from their conditioning just grinds.
It's the beta males.
Well, but this is the thing. So, like, if you look at a rabbit, right, it's intrinsically afraid of a fox or a dog. It just knows it's afraid. And I think that that's what it truly is. I think if you took away civilized society, all these beta males would be fearful of us with good reason. Yeah. Because they know that the bottom line is, like we just said, violence. If we want what they have, we'll take it off them. But we now live in a civilized society, and their fear is being masked as dislike. That's what it is. They're genuinely fearful and they're genuinely intimidated. And then they just mask it as dislike and they try and hate on us, but because they can hide behind a computer screen. But truly they're fearful because they know their position in life, and this is how the world works. There's hierarchies, and that's how it is. So, I've never seen anybody who dislikes me who I, even for a fraction of a second, want to be anything closer. I look at the people who dislike me, I'm just like, your life looks absolutely gnarly.
Especially,
it's fine. God's already taught them all a lesson. It's like, it's fine with me. You can debate.
It's hard to take advice from someone who doesn't have money, who's fat, unhealthy, out of shape. And I feel like a lot of those
This is so
people,
factual. Why am I... It's just a fact. People, I mean, the big people get offended, the unhealthy people get offended. People that aren't living their lives the right way want you to live your life not the right way. Is that not a fact? They're miserable with themselves and they want you to be miserable. It's just bad energy. I don't want to be around those people. And you shouldn't either, right? Recognize bad energy in your life and cut it out. And cultivate positive, good energy that you can give off and that other people want to be around as well. Nobody wants to be around that kind of energy, and I know I don't. So I would rather be alone than be around some negative, toxic individual who is just not living their life the right way. And that's just, everybody has their own prerogative, and you got to respect it.
Fucking sitting there making YouTube videos talking about how to be great, how to make money, all this shit.
Completely.
It's pathetic.
And worst of all, it's hard to take advice from people who are sad. So give an example. I said depression wasn't real and the world lost its mind.
Dude, people need to understand this. This is literally the cure to depression. You want to cure depression? Stop giving it so much power. Stop. Stop saying it's real. Stop. It's not real. All right? And then this will piss a lot of people off, but listen to Tate. Maybe he's onto something. Maybe he has the answer to your depression. Just maybe. Right? Just take a listen.
I said, listen, this isn't even about real or fake. This isn't about...
It's not a real or fake.
You're looking at it in the wrong paradigm.
Here you go.
I'm explaining to you that I'm a human who gets to live one life, hopefully more, but let's say one life.
Let's say.
And I'm going to adopt a mindset that gives me the optimum human experience. I'm going to believe in things.
Live the best life, right? I want to believe in things that are going to let me live the best life. Just listen. Truly listen. Y'all aren't listening. Just listen.
Cool. I'm not going to believe in anything that takes power away from me. The reason I don't say depression is real, the reason I don't believe in it, is that, heaven forbid, the worst things on earth happen to me. I can never be clinically depressed because I don't believe it's a real thing. Mm-hmm. I can't be haunted by a ghost if I don't believe in ghosts. Mm-hmm. I've said this before on another podcast. If you have two men in different haunted houses, one believes in ghosts, one doesn't. The one who doesn't believe in ghosts is going to sleep just fine. Mm-hmm. The one who does, he's the one giving power to the fear. He's the one who's going to be afraid of it. So I'm saying, why would I believe in depression?
100%.
Because if I believe in it, I have to be fearful of it, and it might strike me and get me down. If I believe in feeling depressed sometimes, but knowing I'll get better, then I'm okay, right? But if I believe in the 100%. Clinical idea of becoming depressed and having depression and not being able to get rid of it, 100%. Then I'm not going to be okay. So I said, I don't believe in it. I refuse to believe in it. And when I said this, a whole bunch of depressed people started attacking me. And I was sitting there going, why would I want to adopt the thinking?
Why would he want to be like you? Why are you putting your depression on Andrew Tate, the man who has it all, who's happy, who's good? I don't believe in depression. I'm a happy guy. Leave me alone. No, you're a misogynist, and you're terrible for the world, and you should be depressed like us. Okay, just try not to believe in it, huh? I don't believe in it, you know? I get depressed. He just admitted. Of course he gets depressed. We all get depressed sometimes. I admit, I get depressed sometimes, right? How do I get over that? Believing it's not real. No, stop. Depression, get away from me. You're not real. Go away. Hey, I feel a little bit better. I may or may not actually be depressed. I don't know. But I can be a little bit happier or a lot of bit happier if I'm just like, it's not real. Then I'll live my life and I'm good. It's not real, so stop giving it power, right? You who are clinically and chronically depressed, it's a real thing, it's a real thing, it's a real thing. Just chill out, dude. Try something new and maybe you'll be happier, right? Optimum life. Let's live our best lives. Let's not live a depressed existence. Nobody wants that. You don't want that. You sitting there saying I have clinical and chronic depression is insane. Okay, stop saying it. Stop saying these negative things. Just stop. And I'm saying this in terms of, don't you want to be happy? Right? Okay then, I want you to be happy too, so just be happy and try and stop being so stubborn and thinking you know everything, right? Humble yourself. You don't have all the answers, neither do I, but try new things. And let's all be happy together. Don't try and put your depression on me either, because I am a sensitive guy as well. I get sensitive too. I get sad too. I get depressed too. I want to live a good life too. So don't put that on me. Don't be around me with all that. Get away from me, you know? Be happy and come back. Good vibes only. You know what I'm saying? Whew!
You just told me you can't. You're suicidal, and I should think like you.
A lot of people.
I'm like, no.
A lot of people are depressed and anxious.
I want to kill
but
myself.
it comes down.
You don't know, so you should do that too. Literally.
How they eat, how they sleep. They don't work out. They hit their fucking vape pens, and then they say they're anxious and depressed. That's what's causing the anxiety and the depression. Is literally people's life habits.
Completely. And this is why this whole idea of clinical depression is so dangerous, right? Because you're
100%.
telling these people, oh, you have a disease. It's not your fault. No, it is your fault.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not really your fault. If I lived your existence, I'd be depressed.
Yeah.
Your life's shit, right? And especially in the world we live in today, and especially for a man, most men have very, very depressing existences. It's easy for us all to